Whew. All right. Here we find ourselves. Once again, here we go. All right, I'm psyching myself up. Hi, everybody. I'm
Someone
Commander J.
traps.
Oh my God. I'm Commander J Antrax. I'm back, and it's the 3rd of April, and our April Fool's gift to you is that we didn't do a joke here on the Loose Screws podcast. This is welcome to this episode, and it's the 200 scrolling up. It is the 278th episode for April 3rd, 2025. I hope my friends here got that right because I did not check it ahead of time.
33-0-11. And yes, I updated it earlier.
Okay,
or that could have been the April Fool's joke. Who knows?
We're live radio today. We just didn't tell anybody.
It's the 275th episode for the 3rd time. It's just a really minor joke, I
Like
guess.
Stuck CZ. Okay, great.
Great. It's like a stuck BGS state. Just tick, tick, ticking away, and nothing ever changes. Guys, I'm sitting here logged into the game here, and I have 3 weeks of Fleet Carrier weekly update emails. So I have not officially logged in even for a second for 3 solid weeks. Last week I was gone on a family trip, so I had an excuse that week, and that's why I missed the show, and that's why y'all did a perfectly adequate, perfectly acceptable, and successful job of creating a podcast.
That's a very nice thing to say about a podcast that I'm actually on.
Samesies.
What I'm meaning is it came out pretty good considering I didn't do almost any of the stuff I normally do on the show, which was a real test of how automated have I successfully made this. And basically the only thing I did was receive the recording from Craig. I let Craig do the mixing on its own and just basically dragged it into, I had to merge it with a video file to make it go on YouTube, but then I just dragged it into the publishing thing. So I guess the only thing
you are so close to being made obsolete by AI.
Well, didn't it sound okay though? Like it sounded pretty good.
It didn't sound bad.
I don't have the ear that you do, but
there's some places where it lets some of the voices get more quiet than I let them. I have sort of a pet peeve about, there's a lot of podcast mixing out in the world right now, especially these podcasts that are really kind of like high level and they have ads and they're from the whatever network and all this stuff. And they sound pretty good, but they're too dynamic and you're listening to them in the car or something. And it's like, you're constantly having to crank the volume way up and like one person's voice,
way down.
They start, and then so they interview somebody who's on a phone and it's like super shrill and it cuts a knife through your ear holes. And it's, I am very insistent that I do a better job of that sort of stuff than that. And I
believe you.
I pretty automatically do it here because like I know my settings, you know what I mean? And I've basically got my setup, so I drag everybody onto a track that has their name on it, and I've already pre-configured your EQ based on what your microphone sounds like. I have some processors that do some fancy stuff, like they take something that sounds a little bit more like a headset mic, a little less full frequency, and they make it sound more like a studio mic. And it's fancy audio black magic that's pretty expensive, but I have it for work, so it's like not a big deal, right? And that's it's like all told, I think I'm not worth that much this podcast because Craig did it automatically. And like the biggest complaint I had is like, a couple of the guys had a little less bass in their voice than usual. And sometimes some of the words were a little bit quiet. It's like, that's the worst thing. But it's like, what the fuck am I doing all the anyway?
Well, how the heck else are we going to set off Teflon's subwoofer?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had trouble last week because I kept dropping. Yeah. Like there was,
I heard that.
We had to get a new VPN for work, and it was like it didn't want to be off. It kept turning back on, and I think every time it was turning on, it was messing with Discord. So at least with the recording from Discord, and I was just like talking and there'd be like dead silence around me. And everyone's like, I can hear you fine. And I'm like, I can't hear anything else. And it was like really weird.
Yeah, yeah.
In my head, I'm picturing Bloomingwind over there, and the VPN keeps jumping in front of him like, "Get down, Mr. President!"
Since that, the other thing is, you guys don't have the theme music into the robot, which I've never bothered to put in there because
I just sang it badly.
I always drop it in post. It's easier because I have the sort of the dips in volume and stuff kind of built into it. That's really hard to do live, like start it 10 seconds before you're going to want it to turn up, this sort of crap. For the sake of it, I have since uploaded those things so that whoever is hosting the podcast on the day when I'm not there can now, however roughly it comes out, include the music in the recording, and it'll get picked up by Craig. So, and then I guess all I would have to do is share, login credentials for our publishing thing.
Yeah.
And I would be totally absolved of it. But anyway, it was all right. Like I bring a laptop with me in case I need to talk to clients while I'm on the road anyway, but listen to things. But
I think we just discussed Track's exit strategy.
I've made no secret.
I've been tricked.
Years ago, and I've talked about this, but years ago, I used to like put a lot more time into this, and I had a lot less automated stuff. And it was like quickly the show became completely reliant on me. And at a certain point, we started adding essentially cast members and stuff because it was like if somebody can't be there for some reason, or maybe they just want a friggin' week off, and it worked out better. And like I can just disappear for 3 weeks and all I have to do is like do a couple of quick things and publish, and we're on the road. So yeah, I mean, it's not an exit strategy, but I do like kind of minimal effort to it because like we do this in our free time for fun, and it's like whatever, we sort of minimize it. So I think all in all, it comes out pretty great. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing when I'm available, but things aren't going to become like hard to listen to. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's going to be fine. It's going to be friggin' fine. So anyway, for some reason that I just had to friggin' talk about that. I'm sure everybody cares a lot on the other end of the earphones here, but
your following on YouTube is going to have all the comments about we just love knowing the nuts and bolts of audio engineering on in this show about a video game and not about audio engineering. So
yeah. All right. Who wants to tell me what they did last week?
Oh, I suppose I will start. Last week I actually did play some Elite. I did some hauling and did a little bit of power play, and then immediately got distracted by life again and haven't been in again since then until right now, where I keep trying to put the outfitting on my Viper Mark IV back together because it got cannibalized a little bit for my Explorer ship, just because the modules were just, that much nicer, Mm-hmm. And every time I put a module in, it matters. I come back in and the module's installed, but it still disconnects me every time, and that's getting really annoying.
That's it's like the people who are actually the NPCs who are actually installing it in your ship. That's like the time tax for how long it should take to
right
to instantaneously move a module into your ship.
They're like, oh no, you're gonna feel what it's like for us to install the shield generator. I'm just saying. That's what I get for not having multiples of ships, but that's just me. If it'll let me, I'll be putting a mining chip together later tonight too, but I don't know if it's gonna let me. Well, I guess we'll find out. I either want to put together like an Anaconda miner or a Beluga miner, just something that's like that. It's a mining chip, and that's all that I'm going to do with it, and that's why it exists.
Does a Beluga have enough hard points?
Yeah,
Beluga has tons of size 2 hard points.
Oh, cool. Then you're perfect.
It has 5 or 6
loaded.
Yeah.
Hey, Lark, in real
I think
life,
it's got some bigger ones too.
Haven't you been dodging some storms too?
We had one really bad storm lately, in which, like, I was at work. I was on lunch at the time from work, and I had just driven to McDonald's because, nuggies sounded good. And when I was driving back, the storm was rolling in. And let me tell you, it's fun when you're going 45 and it starts hailing.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing was damaged, but man, it sounded like it was.
How big
And
was the
by the
hail?
time I got back to the office, the hail had turned to snow and then rain again and then back into hail. And as I opened the door, there was thunder overhead.
Wow.
So I was just like, what the frick is even happening here? So yeah, spring weather, it's been fun. Not as fun as in the Midwest, but you know, that crap happens. Speaking of Midwest, how are you, Blooms?
Oh, I'm good. So we
West?
had terrible storms in Nashville last night. I woke up to everybody's cell phone but mine setting off red alerts like the Klingons were off the starboard bow at about 3 in the morning. And I went downstairs to turn on the TV and see what the hell was going on. And it's like,
And all it was
oh,
Gowron waggling his eyebrows at him.
yes. Yeah, he just said today is the weatherman said today is a good day to die. And I was like, oh, great. This is not good. Oh, yeah. So there was a tornado southwest of us, and it looked like it was
Oh,
approaching
geez.
our general vicinity. And then it started veering more westerly and not coming up to where I live in Nashville. And I was like, okay, we're clear of that one. And then my golden retriever was freaking out. So I just said, okay, I'm going to just sleep down here on the sofa with him until he kind of cools off. And then my mom's cell phone blows up again because it's like the volume from my mom's cell phone is on the charger, turns all the way up. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's like, so I turn the TV on again. There's another one that just formed about a mile away from us. And I was like, but it was
Beak.
past us. So it was like, so it wasn't
Yeah,
going to turn
yeah.
around and come back and get us. But I was like, holy shit, that one's really close. And so I didn't get any sleep, and none of us got any sleep last night. And so, you know, my son was like, I don't feel like going to school, but I have to be at school because I got a soccer game. And I'm like, okay. So he's like, I'm just going to show up at 10:30 because like the 10:30 is the cutoff for when you're not allowed to play sports if you're on a sports team.
Right.
You know, you can be late, but you can't be that late. It's you know, it's like mass doesn't count if you get there if you miss the gospel. So it's kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm Catholic, whatever. So anyway, so I was just like, you know what, the hell with it. You know, just get in when you get in when you can, but don't when you miss your soccer game because he's now starting on varsity. So he got promoted to starter. Yeah. So, but then the game got canceled because of all the rain and all that. And then about 12:30, I get this alert from the school saying school's opening an hour late. I'm like, this thing came late. Okay, it came like 5 hours late. So anyway, so it's like the storms were just completely ridiculous. And as I may have said earlier, I couldn't really log on last night. I tried, and I got to the point where it's like you pick like solo or open or whatever, and then that glowing orange starship shows up. The glowing orange starship didn't show up, and all I heard was music. And I rebooted the computer, did all the things, and it kept doing that. I was like, the hell with it.
Yeah, I think it's server side because it's been trying to do that to me every time it's kicked me off trying to outfit this ship. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, every step was slow of the logon process. So something was up for me and you. Maybe the Middle America server is not working right.
That's the one next to the door, so it gets knocked over every time someone goes in the room.
Probably. But so that was my week.
Cool.
How about you, Oblivious?
Well, how much do you guys want to hear about demoing a bathroom wall?
Yes.
All of it.
Which tool you used?
Many different
Don't want to
tools.
hear any instruction about a bathroom wall.
Also, hi, Ty, apparently.
Hello, Ty.
Hey, y'all suck, by the way. I just want to say that.
Oh, man, thanks.
Welcome back.
Hey, I just want to say that I went through the whole trouble to set up a station and did the whole thing. I was actually having fun doing it. And it's in the wrong spot. And they won't move it.
Yeah.
Don't you want to
I know
delete
it's a beta. I know it's a beta. I get it. But like, you know, if you just let me move it, or I mean, clearly y'all can move it because y'all can do anything y'all want to. But you know, yeah, it's one more layer on top of another broken system. So,
where is this incorrectly placed station?
I can't remember the name of the system. It's in the coal sector, something. I can't remember, but I placed it at basically the L2 point, and it's all the way out past the 12th or 13th planet.
Nice.
Ouch. That's fucked up.
Was that the first station in the system or the second one?
Yeah, it was the very first one.
The first one's always randomly placed. You don't get to pick the place of the first one. You thought you were picking it because you were you were activating the beacon. The beacon, it picks you to a spot and says, do your beacon here, but that has nothing to do with where the station goes. It's random. After the first one, then you start getting to pick the spots, but that's when the bugs show up and some people's stations don't go where they're supposed to go. So anyway.
Well, I stand by my statement. It's in the wrong damn spot.
Yeah, I don't understand what the point of it being random is, but that's the truth.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Have you finished it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Have you named
Good job, man.
Named it?
No, I didn't spend no arcs to name that sumbitch.
Oh, you need to need to name it and see if it takes, or be like Trax and have to wait 3 weeks for the name to actually take.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm just glad it's a beta, so I'm glad we don't have to wait too damn much, but it's still horseshit. So anyway, I just want to say that I listened to the last episode. You guys did good. I appreciate you guys still keeping everything down, and I'll let you guys later.
Oh,
all right, man. Nice talking to you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ty. How's the paint job on the Corvette, Ty?
Don't get me started on that shit either. I picked up a Mamba, and I really like the Mamba. No, Mandalay, not Mamba. Sorry, Mandalay. Too many M's.
There you go.
Yeah, I like the Mandalay a lot. I've been enjoying the Mandalay, so.
She's a fine ship.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys still kick ass. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Thanks, Ty.
And that was the ghost of Ty, everybody.
And
love that guy.
He said we did a good job, not an adequate job.
Woohoo!
That's true. The haunting of Ty's haunting gave you much better praise than me. He's much better at that.
Well, take the accolades. So anyway, tearing down a bathroom wall.
Is this the appropriate time for me to sneak in the door?
No, shut up.
There he is. The man from the state who can't do clocks.
See you guys. Nope, just come to say hi. Bye.
Be right back.
Hello, everyone.
I think I'm going to skip my story now.
Yeah, you can't follow up Ty, man. I mean,
no. I think we should just move on.
Save it for next week.
I'll just roll the credits.
Actually, I want Dax to tell us where he's been. He sent some pretty cool pictures.
Oh, guys, I was fully under the impression that this was starting an hour later, so I'm unprepared and late to the party. And I'm not.
We don't know what time it is in Arizona, Audax.
Yeah, we tried to figure it out. Arizona is bad at telling people what time it is.
It's not daylight savings time. That's what time it is, suckers. No,
I was actually trying to get everyone through it without you showing up, but I mean, here we are.
Yeah, you gave me access to the recording channel, and it's a decision you'll live to regret.
Not yet, but we're getting there.
I guess that one's
Wait, are we going around the table? Is this everyone's
We
intro?
are, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you're up.
Have I shoehorned my way in here?
Go.
Yo,
you're in it.
I missed last week because I went to the Grand Canyon, the biggest hole,
The biggest
earth.
crack.
The biggest crack in the earth, and it was wonderful. And 5 days later, I am still sore, which is just a badge of shame because I used to work there, and I used to hike in and out all the time and think nothing of it. But that was 8 years ago, and now I'm still hobbling around the house.
Canyon hiking is a different game. Man.
Oh God! Also, I'm 39, so I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh,
okay.
that's catching up to you.
Yeah, time moves inevitably ever onward, and fuck it.
Was that all hiking, or did you do any rafting?
No. It was just hiking in and out. There's just a cool bit of human history there. There's a cave that these folded figurines were recovered that are 4,000 years old.
Wow.
Some of the oldest artifacts in North America going back to what's called the Archaic period. It's exceptional. There's just that, it's it's such a privilege to be able to get myself those places. So
Nice.
yeah, when I'm not flying spaceships, I'm out walking through the desert. So that's kind of I get out probably a couple times a year still. So that was one of my adventures. It was great.
Did you say folded figurines?
Yeah, they took willow stems. The idea is it was a ceremony that they would fold them almost like origami. They would fold them in one piece into this shape, and then pierce them with some affect of a spear or a hunting implement. And because everything's so dry here, they were tucked up out of the way, and they sat perfectly intact for about 4,000 years. So it's just an incredible little snapshot of humanity over time. So really, really, really cool place to go.
Nice.
But yeah, I missed you guys.
We missed you
but
too.
I'm back.
We missed you too.
I hobbled into my computer chair, and here I sit.
Forevermore.
Yes. Yeah. So I am back. Yeah. I had the last couple months have been a lot of real life stuff and daughters. I discovered another childhood illness I did not know existed. This is the
for crying out loud
one. My oldest has what's called molluscum. And if you've ever heard of that,
you get it from folded figurines.
It's a pox. Yeah, apparently it's a pox virus, like chicken pox, but not chicken pox. But very low key, actually doesn't require any intervention. But what looked like chicken pox cropped up, and I'm like, you got the vaccine. We got to go talk about this. And the doctor was like, oh yeah, it happens. The only weird thing is it can take up to 2 years to go away.
Oh, good God.
So it's not painful, but it's like there. And I'm like, how in God's name did I reach adulthood and I don't know half these things exist? So
I think it's probably
learned
good
about
that you don't
them
know they
once.
exist, right?
Yeah, except when your kid gets hand, foot, and mouth that you never had as a kid.
Yeah.
So then I get it worse, and I can't talk for 3 days.
See, that's the thing you realize when you turn 40 is that we're all just making it up as we go and trying our best.
We are, man. My life has been a long series of my life has been a long series of dodged medical bullets, one after the other. Apparently.
Yuck.
Anyway, that's the life of Daxie. Who's next? I kind of interrupted in the middle of it.
Oblivious was interrupted. Let's see who else logs in and interrupts Oblivious.
Right? Quick, Oblivious, start talking. Let's see what happens.
No, I'd like to say that the moment's dead. We just need to keep going on.
Okay.
The spirit has flown.
We'll save that for later. This is going to be a multi-week project, so we can catch up on the demolition stuff later.
Right on.
What about you, Trax? You just got back from a trip.
Oh, yeah. I family went to Virginia, to Williamsburg. That's where they do the historical site stuff. They have like actors. Yeah, they have like actors doing all the parts of all that stuff. It's like
shoes.
Yeah, exactly. It was my daughter's first time being there, and she was pretty excited, and she gets pretty into the actors stuff. And you're walking down the street, and then someone starts shouting, and then a crowd gathers, and they're like, have you heard what happened in Lexington? And all this like Revolutionary War shit kind of like happens day to day as you're there. It's kind of fun. Cool place, and they have a lot of artifacts and little tours you can do and stuff like that. Everybody's in actual costume, and all the the blacksmiths are blacksmithing, and the tinsmiths are tinsmithing, and
the tricorn hats are tricorning.
They sure as shit are.
Did you get to one of the historic restaurants?
Well, sorry, restaurants?
Did you get to one of the historic restaurants? The King's Arms Tavern is a favorite of mine.
We did King's Arms when my wife and I went, which was our first vacation together, like over a decade ago now. And now that we're back and my kid's almost 10, this time we went to, it's the one behind the Capitol building. It's like a woman's name. It's like Clarissa's. It's not Clarissa. It's like something like that though with a C. Anyway, it's pretty cool. Yeah, they had all these sort of period appropriate things, like a whole rainbow trout with the head and tail on and everything. Stuff like that served to you, anyway. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Fish?
It's just the whole fish. Yeah, they cook it up and here you go.
like
I think
medieval
they got
time.
it, yeah, but they give it it's not a fillet. Like the whole fish is there minus the belly and heart and stuff, I guess.
You never had a whole fish?
Never ate a fisheye?
No.
The best part.
My diet is very, very limited and boring, and doesn't include whole salmon or whole whatever it was, walleye.
Whatever it was.
An outdoor guy, I figure you got to,
That's the Ross
catch,
Tavern.
cook, and
I've never been
clean,
there
you know?
before.
What'd you eat at the bottom of the?
Like the fourth time you tell the story, anyways. So
it's like, what did you eat at the bottom of the biggest crack anyway? There has to be nothing but fish down there, right?
Yeah, other than it being strictly illegal to catch them. All that. But who's counting, right? I take it they don't serve that fish with tea because the whole, whole war tea, it's too soon kind of thing. Too soon.
Much too soon. Yeah, it's only been like 230 years or something.
Some wounds are still fresh, so.
Anyway, yeah, it was a fun trip. Largely visiting with family. My brother and his partner met us down there. My parents went out as well, so we're kind of like all of us together, hanging out for a week. And then let's see. I came back. We did the electrical walkthrough on the new house that's going up.
Nice.
Things are coming right along.
So you're actually building then? I hadn't heard that.
Yes, I can't remember how much I've kept up with that part of the story, but yes, we are building yet another house because that's the only way that we can be satisfied. And
because I've got so many I can't even count.
It's just not the first time that I've had a new house constructed for me in the last 10 years. So it feels like we're doing it a lot. I plan to not do it again for the record.
How is the electric? Is it on?
The electric is not on. The walkthrough is basically where we go over like where all the everything, can lights, outlets are planned to be, where's the panels going to go, just kind of approving everything and making adjustments where we want them to be and stuff like that. So we just walk through with the electrician, and it's at a state now like it has a roof and windows, and they're finishing framing out the basement while we were there. And
fancy roof.
So the layout is present, basically.
Cool.
But you can walk through all the walls. You just walk between the studs.
Mm-hmm.
God, I wish you did that walkthrough in your last year's Halloween costume. There's a little inside baseball right there.
Yes, the electric light plugs.
Exactly.
It's like wearing the band shirt to the concert. You wear that costume to the electrician.
Here I am. We'd plug each other together and be like, huh? Look at the electrician.
See, you get it?
What do you think of this?
Don't even acknowledge it. You just get out of the car together, plug in, and then walk into the house like it's
just all for you, buddy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like,
this is a joke I did explicitly for you and no one else.
God, get this over with. Cool. Congratulations on the electric.
Yeah, well, thanks. And as discussed earlier, I haven't logged into this game in over 3 weeks. And here I find myself, so get this, I'm at Azeban City. Where is this gal map? I'm at Azeban City in Aranin, which is near the Weird system where that engineer is.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever been here before, and this is not where I logged out. I for sure logged out in one of our new colonization systems way the fuck on the outskirts of the edge of the bubble, and now here I am in like north center of the bubble, way away from where I am. So
Space Azerbaijan.
Here's my theory.
The galaxy rotates.
My theory is I logged out on a colonization platform while deliveries were being made, and apparently
that's exactly what happened.
It did not just move me to whatever the new station is that was built in the new loose cruise system. It just put me some random place in the friggin' universe.
I don't know if that's random. Here's a little bit of like old elite lore. Our boy Roy Cookson, the author and the bard, him and I, in a former lifetime, we did a whole elite like narrated audio drama series.
Yeah.
The character was based out of Azeban. city.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
right
think,
next to Styx.
and we gotta ask him why. I think that system has something, like, I don't know what it is. I don't think that's a coincidence that one station came up though. So we'll have to get with our boy Roy and figure out the backstory there.
Well, there are like 9 fleet carriers here.
Yeah,
there's a stronghold carrier here, and there's a couple of little ports and this orbital, Azaban City.
Yeah, it's just that's like one of the few stations in the game I would actually recognize because the character he played was
weird.
from. Yeah, it's so weird. That's got to be something. So
that's so weird.
Little mysteries.
Okay. Well, I'm not where I thought I was going to be. I was going to go hang around the planet that I intend to one day build a land settlement on, which is why I picked the system I did. But I'm nowhere near there, and I've just been talking to you guys, so I haven't done any of that.
You were logged out that long, and you didn't even uninstall?
No, man.
Dang. Okay. Well, you're missing out.
Well, you can only script so much before you go on a trip. There's lots to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go. You do.
Let's. I mean, are we good with this portion that we've gone on a long time? How long have we been recording now? And which we're just not even. We're not even through the fluff part.
It's all for that guy who complained about it once.
31 minutes.
Well, here we go. It's time for squad stuff.
Incoming priority message. Squadron briefing.
But also, like, do we have a squad?
We do have a squad. We do have a squad.
Still? Does it work?
It's a legitimate question right now.
I mean, I think it's a fair question.
I think it's broken.
I think that's part of the discussion when we get to the discussion segment,
All right.
Wither BGS. But yeah, so we've got a war in Miola versus the Praetorian PMC. Now, officially, they have no interest in controlling the system. Some fucker out there, wrested control of this system from us a long time ago, and it wasn't them, and it wasn't ADN, and it wasn't anyone who lives up in that area that's willing to take ownership of it. Anyway, it's for control, and apparently, according to Inara, since this morning, it's been updated, and it's also for return of Harris Hospital, where I have privileges, to be wrested back into our control. There's a war in Balmus.
On that?
What? Yeah, it changed. Yeah, so it's weird. It's TFG. I don't know what the hell's going on in this game. I mean, this is part of the BGS being broken. It's just like things are happening at their own random times and spaces. There's a war in Balmus. We have a station, Binnie Enterprise, that we do not want to lose. So we do want to win that. FF Andromeda and LTT 17156 are our 2 lowest influence systems, and they need a little bit of a shove, so bounties can be dumped there. We have a couple of other systems that we're targeting to take back over again after we take control of Miola. And then we're not going to worry about overheating systems because there's nothing we can do about it. So I don't even know if expansion is even happening because I've been out of the bubble for like an eternity.
Well, you're welcome.
There's expansion, but
there's expansion.
Not the way you think.
Where are we expanding to, Oblivious? Like when we expand, are we expanding?
While we had been talking, we have entered yet another system. We went from 191 to 192. What?
But that's from colonization, right?
Yeah. Well, there is expansion going because of the overheating that we can't control. But those are onesie twosie. But we have through colonization have grown from 68 to 192 right now. Systems.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where I can't bookmark them all.
Stop trying.
I'm not even. I haven't tried.
You can. You just have to zoom way in.
No, but when we expanded lately, have we been expanding to systems that were normal systems, or were we expanding to colonization systems, like through the expansion mechanism?
I've seen both.
You've seen both. Okay. So you can expand both ways. Okay, cool. That solves the Kalarum problem nicely. So, I mean, that's all I got about the plot update.
The question is it consistent? Which again, we can talk more about that later. But yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we got going on. The squad update is there's some things we'll give you to do if you're interested in doing them, and they can be found in the Standing Orders channel. And we love to talk about it in the Loose Screws faction channel of the Discord. So any questions, pester us there. That's the squad update. Yep.
And they may or may not work.
Yep. So before I push the short PP report button, we're not just going to read how many systems each power controls, are we?
That was the plan.
No, that's Frontier's job.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Frontier does that. I also think that stat is pointless for anybody who actually is paying attention to power play. Yeah. If somebody wanted to look up the number of like strongholds and fortifieds, that would be a relevant stat.
Mm-hmm. I'll do that for next week. I don't have that data ready. Sorry.
Let me just see if the Gal map will just show me if I throw this sucker into power play mode. Mm-hmm. And then what do I do? Do I go over here to this one? How do I see this? Power play mode, toggle all powers. What am I looking for here?
So you just mouse over the picture. So Yon Rui,
I have to use the mouse.
Yeah, if you use the mouse, you can hit that little arrow on the right.
Oh, never mind. I can use my keyboard here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. I'll do it. You know what? I'll friggin' do it. Hold on. Let me find the button.
That link you sent has the numbers.
There's only one number that I care about, but I'll let you read the numbers, Drax.
Okay. All right. I'm going to play this thing.
This is the short PP report.
Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
It's average, so get your facts straight.
All right.
That's still excellent.
That's my favorite.
It's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that one. Okay. I'll tell you what. I'm going to read these in the order of how many systems they control, and let's see how this list feels now. Okay, so in last place of total systems is Torval. Which one of these is Torval? I don't know their
He's
pictures.
the Spider Queen.
Okay, Zemina Torval. Zemina Torval has 26 strongholds. Okay. In 11th place, Winters. Which one is Winters? Here we go. Felicia Winters has 44 strongholds. Okay. All right.
Almost double.
Delaine is in 10th place of total systems, but has 33 strongholds. So Winters technically ahead there. Although I think he has more fortified. Oh, this is getting complicated. No wonder people don't actually do it this way. All right. And then Kaine has 40 strongholds. Patreus, who should be in 8th place, that's Patreus. He has 33. Boy, there's a lot of everyone's equal here.
Yeah.
Funny how that worked.
Antal has 49, doing really well over there in Antal. Screw Archer has 70 strongholds. Fuck that guy.
Ooh, big jump.
Yon Rui has 86 strongholds. So suck on that, Archer. And Grom, where the hell is Grom? Oh, he's up in the corner. Grom only has 50, doing better than a bunch of them, but whatever. And Lavigny-Duval has 102 strongholds.
Dang.
Yeah.
And
good to be the Empress.
Sorry, that was Lavigny-Duval, and now Lavigny-Duval has only 88. Oh, Arissa, what are you doing over there? 102 strongholds. And then Mahon, who ostensibly is in first place, only has 62 strongholds. And 168 fortifieds is way below. So, I mean, tons of systems, but doing fuck all with them. Because, so Arissa is clearly in first place here with 102 strongholds and 229 fortified systems.
Yeah.
And not that far behind him on total systems either. So give me a friggin' break. Way out in front, Lavigny-Duval.
The Empire is the clear power in
followed
space.
Yeah, it's Arissa and Ashleen with 102 and 88. Yeah. And then followed closely up by Yon Rui with 86.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone else is just kind of back there somewhere.
I mean, yeah, the Yon Rui is 86, but he has only 600 exploited systems. That's about half of the exploited of Ashling. So the Empire's moving numbers. They've got a lot of followers because we get this brain game is full of a bunch of brain dead simps who just go after the blue hair lady. Sorry,
but she's not in the lead.
I'm betraying my bias. I'm with your boy Lee Yon Rui, but it's a relationship of convenience. We've been over
It
this.
is. It's a geographical relationship.
I don't fight for Lee Yon Rui. I fight with him.
Alongside him.
Against mostly Archer.
Yes, against Archer. Nothing unifies like a common enemy.
That was pretty good. Actually, that wasn't so bad. Even without having pre-researched this, that didn't come out so bad.
Should I go into the particulars?
Yeah. What particulars are you prepared to go into?
Here is, if you're looking to get some PP in loose screw space. New York.
You want to get a hold of a PP in loose screw space.
So we have plans within plans within plans. We have a kind of long-term campaign. Of course, the big Battle of Bumber, which, by the way, Archer fucked right off from. That dude has not been back and had a single control point of undermining since we took that. So I'm very proud of us.
Doesn't like the taste of it.
Stop. Well, you can only get kicked in the nuts so many times before you want to go do something else.
Wait, guys. Do you realize what he just said? The big Battle of Bumber?
Oh, I walked right into that one, didn't I?
It was great.
Oh, yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, we've got the campaign is marching ever onward, and we won't say specifically where the end goal is, but the next system is Rakhba. Rakhba is, I guess south of loose screw space. I mean that when you open the galaxy map, like it's
Z negative.
Yeah, not Z negative. It's like X negative. Anyway, it's towards
actual.
Yeah, okay, you know what I mean?
Actual south.
Sure. Looking down at it, yeah. So that's the next target. We have another power play event planned tomorrow night. Has-res mining. We haven't done one of these in a long time, but it is a heck of a lot of fun. And now with merits, it actually kind of gives us some glue to hold the whole thing together. It's really a shit system for mining, but that's not the point. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you can bring your has-res mining. And this is one of my favorite little weird elite facts that I almost no one knows, but is from the original version of the game, is that there is a purpose to res sites besides bounty hunting. Res sites give a bonus. They give a bonus to mining depending on the level. And Has-Res gives out a 100% bonus to laser mining within 20 kilometers of the market.
Dang.
So it's double. So for the headache of getting chased out and harassed by pirates, if you actually want to mine in a res site, that was part of their original design, not just for bounty hunting. So I'm going to be there in my Type 10, all fitted out for a fight, but you really can't do it yourself. Eventually, you're going to get ganged up on. So it's a lot of fun. You can bring a fighter, you can bring a miner, but we all do it together, and we make some credits, and we make some merits. So check that out.
Rumble and Rukba. Got it.
Rumble and Rukba. Yep. And that, once we claim that system, gets us moving in the direction that we want for the greater campaign. So you're helping the cause.
Hear that, everyone? Is that rumble in your Rukbas?
Ugh. God.
The Rukba.
I regret the whole thing now.
And it's canceled. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep. Other than that, everything's been pretty stable in PowerPoint space. We scared off Archer enough that they have stopped invading, and we provided enough content for Serious Gov that they still tolerate our presence. I haven't even picked a fight with them in a while.
You got to get on that.
Yeah, I just got to go stir things up, just to keep it interesting.
Go in there and yell about how you're not working any overtime.
Just to remind them,
unionization,
Just to remind them that I don't work for them; I work with them. Anyway, so that's everything on the Power Play Fund, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So before I go on, I just want to direct any of the video viewers, video listeners. Anyway, the point is, if whatever platform you're listening to this on has video, this is the system. This is the reason I colonized out to this point for loose screws, because that's a landable planet with a beautiful ring in a nice bright system. and it looks great, and we're going to put some stuff there, and it's going to be awesome. Anyway, probably some asteroid bases in that ring too, because why not? Anyway, next thing I'm going to just start flying around here for the rest of the show. Next thing in my notes says colonization update. Are we for real?
So I included this just because Lave Radio is including this and because the data is available. So I can read it if you want.
Because Frontier says this to us instead of
basically
fixing anything.
Yeah, basically.
Got it.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's there.
Okay.
What else are you going to talk about?
Sure.
Anyways, so as far as how much of whatnot has been colonized by Whoozy Whatsits, we have 42,226 claims have been made so far. 23,423 of those have been colonized successfully. Of that, starports and outposts make up 47,821 of the claims. I don't know how that's more than the claims made. That doesn't make sense. Good job, Frontier. Anyways, and 27,227
Sorry,
surface.
what's the question? That starports are more than the claims made? Well,
Yeah.
of course they are, because you can put more than one starport in a system.
Sorry.
Math.
Okay, and surface installations that have been completed, 27,227, which that's a lot for surface. That's more than I thought, to be completely honest.
That's a lot, dog.
Yeah, and as far as cargo delivered, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm not reading that number. Yes, amount of cargo has been delivered and continues to be delivered.
A lot of bio-waste.
Oh, shoot. And in most of the colonized systems, there is one that sticks out as the most popular. It's Industrial Outpost Vulcan with 5,970 constructed. What does that mean? What the frick, Frontier? Thank you.
There's 5,970 of that particular flavor of outpost has been constructed.
Oh, that's what that means. Okay.
Yeah, so when you pick an outpost, you get to choose basically which type, which economy type it's associated with, and they all seem to reference. I mean, they're not exactly an economy. I don't know. I got to be honest. I'm really not paying attention to the ins and outs of that because nobody seems to be able to decipher it, and I don't like. I could have watched 3 tutorial videos that each were like a correction of the previous one about it already, and I'm still not convinced I have it right. And even if I did have it right, there seems to be bugs that make things not go where they're supposed to, and who knows what the fuck is happening anyway. So I'm just like, I got to the system I want to be in, and I'm just friggin' chilling for a while so that I can get this beautiful view at some point when I eventually put a base here. But as for right now, yeah, I'm just looking at it.
TLDR, people moving crap and building crap.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Still in beta.
Still
very much.
Mm-hmm.
Trademark.
Next on my note sheet says Galnet update. Was there a Galnet news update?
There was a couple of them, actually. There was one article about how Gudumaya is joining its peers with new ships, aka the Corsair, which we're all very excited about because, good gosh, that ship looks good.
Yeah.
Do we take a quick survey, Team Beak or Team Ship Kit that I guess lessens the Beak?
I am Commander Lark, and I am Team Beak.
I love the Beak myself. Although that doesn't mean I'm not going to love the other ship kit too. I think the Beak is fantastic.
Right.
They just name it Lessens the Beak.
I love the Beak.
Dulls the Beak.
Dull the Beak.
Yeah, I'm just Team Convert because I thought it looked like total shit. And I don't know what changed my mind, but I have done a full 180.
I think
and
the
I'm like,
size
oh no,
7
that's actually
distributor
really
and size
cool.
7 thrusters kind of changed.
Yeah, maybe
your mind.
some numbers. Maybe they kind of greased my palms a little bit, but I was like, I like the ship now.
The fact that it makes both Kreitz and the Python Mark I apparently totally irrelevant. Which were effectively the best ships in the game. Like full stop.
I'm okay with
that. I have always had a begrudged flying the Crate Mark II, and I don't know why. I get that the numbers add up and it does what I want, but I've never loved it. And
you know
I've
why
only
you never
ever
loved it?
I've never I've only ever flown ships in this game because I love them. I'm not a min-maxer. I don't like crunch a lot of numbers. And the Crate Mark II never did it for me. So I don't mind the power creep if it's to my personal advantage. So there you go.
I think a little power creep makes some lore sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We've had, 9,
especially with
10
the
years
war.
of ships.
Yeah.
So
it's fair.
Frontier's probably not going to get my money for early access, but I'm definitely getting a Corsair.
From the perspective of somebody who hasn't turned on this game in more than 3 weeks, I still kind of feel like I'm going to struggle to not buy it early access.
Right.
The thing is going to melt faces. Oh my God. I haven't even watched, like, today, all the partners got it. And there was like streams about putting it together. Like essentially all the Krite guns right there around the cockpit on the fuselage, and then one extra size 2 on the bottom, bigger thrusters than those ships. It's over. It's over. Plus the cockpit is the courier cockpit, which is, top 5 best cockpits in the game, if you ask me. VR
3.
player, maybe that matters, but I think it's a beautiful friggin' cockpit.
It's
glorious cockpit.
Hold on, just to clarify for those who haven't seen it, is this like a complete copy of the Courier or inspired by the Courier?
Apparently a complete copy. Like the Courier doesn't have a rear seat. This ship does. But it's like basically like the view to, I've seen like a couple of photographs and stills, and it looks like a pretty much a copy. So maybe a little adjustment.
Cool. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I'll probably get it and never fly my Crate Mark II again.
Yeah, I'll retire him. I mean, it's gonna friggin' I almost undoubtedly going to murder AX. It's gonna be absurd.
Your Mandalay is gonna get lonely though, isn't she?
No, the Mandalay has a lot of good uses. I think the new ships are out. This is okay. So here's the thing. Here's what I'm positive about right now. The new ships, although I am openly and loudly worried about the pace of updates in this and content in this game being much too high and them not being able to keep up with the bugs, cough. The new ships are outstanding, and it's okay that they have replaced all the other ships. But like everything they've made so far is great for making like other ships that could do that thing irrelevant. And they're all more fun to fly than the things that they replaced. They do a better job and they make more fun doing it. And why the hell are we here? So,
complain.
Nice.
Well,
we're playing with this game and shit.
If we're here to complain, then maybe that's why I took the last 3 weeks off from this podcast instead of the last, or whatever, however long I did, instead of just the last one where I was actually gone. Anyways.
You do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
There's a season for everything.
And there was also another Galnet update today. There is a new CG. Apparently, a battle between the Imperials and the Feds has kicked off in Chi Eridani. Whatever.
Chi Eridani.
Eridani?
It looks like
Eridani.
It looks like it's Eridani. It's not.
That's how they pronounce it on Babylon 5, so it's got to be right.
They're wrong on Babylon 5.
Eridani.
This is one of those things where we bring like our modern ideas of how these root words were pronounced or something to it, but it's not the right. Yes, so it would be Chi Eridani.
Yep.
And I don't like how that's pronounced.
Some Imperials or some Feds, you know where to find them.
That sounds like some pig Latin shit.
It looks like it should be Eridani, and my brain would be much more happier saying Eridani, but it's not.
Well, in that system, which shall remain unnamed, what's the source of the conflict? Did they have the intern write this again? Was it the ChatGPT intern?
No, so this is a interesting. This is actually an interesting community goal.
Yeah.
What is it? So basically, you have Denton Patreus and Archer having a little bitch fight over the system, And if you are a member of one of those two powers, you get 40,000 merits for participating on top of the other awards, which include paint job and credits. So
it's Archer and Patreus, so it's a bitch
it's
fight.
Archer and Patreus, so it's an Imperial.
But only if you're
red.
pledged to them?
No, you can participate. You just don't get merits. But you can get the paint job,
of course, yeah.
and you can get the credits. And I strongly encourage all of my Archer friends to stick it to Patreus because I don't like his goatee. So all of you
that's a good enough reason.
Archer people who listen to this podcast, and I love you all.
No,
Archer.
friends.
Go and fight in this war for the greater glory of the Federation. And don't worry about anything that's Archer that kind of bumps along into screw space while you're gone. So just please, just fight in the community goals.
Well
so we'll have
said.
other community goals where other powers can get 40,000 merits for fighting each other. So you guys are setting the tone and you're setting the pace for this. Yeah. So I want to see millions upon millions of merits just racked up in this war for you guys.
I guarantee you everything will be perfectly fine when you get home.
Yeah.
I won't break anything.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on everything for my trip back from Colonia.
I won't log in the whole time you're gone fighting. You don't have to worry.
Except for mining night.
What's next in my notes here? It says dev news ?
Yeah, I couldn't find any dev news, so that's why that remained that way.
I've got some dev news for you. What power play cycle is this? I believe it's 22 or 23.
I think it's 23 as of today.
Oh, okay. Does it still give you tasks you can't complete?
Yes.
Did
it's not that big of a deal.
Power play CZs still not populate for players in North America?
Yes.
Yeah, they do, huh?
Yeah.
Any balance changes, like making it so that undermining is a little bit more effective than reinforcing to encourage conflict, which is the whole point of power play existing in not stasis?
I keep coming on this podcast thinking I'm going to have a good time, and it just never works out.
Kind of feels like the message from the developers that, hey, thanks for your patience, we're looking at it, is a little overshadowed by the pace of new features adding new bugs while nothing old gets fixed. All right. Anyway, so moving on to the discussion section.
Okay, so can I be the devil's avocado before you wrap up?
Yeah, we need a lot of devil's avocado.
Okay, one at a time. Oblivious is first.
Yeah.
So
Jesus
you know about that old bug where you get your windscreen blown out?
Yeah.
And if you go ahead and hit night vision, you can still see what's going on.
Yeah, the one that arrived with Odyssey. Yeah.
They fixed that.
Nah, really?
Damn it. I heard that today. It's been.
I don't believe it.
One you don't want fixed is fixed.
Oh no, I would want that fixed, but really, because that's like a render pipeline thing. I would have thought.
I'm gonna blame that on Alex.
We need to meet up in game and blow up the canopy.
All right, who was next?
That would have been me.
Okay.
Telling you.
What do you have to shout at me about,
buddy? I have to shout at you the reality of revenue. What's going to earn Frontier more money? Power play?
Oh, definitely what they're doing.
Or colonization. No, I mean specifically colonization or power play. Colonization, right? This is novel. People can literally put like their name. We have the cheese fridge now as an in-game asset. They are going to pump developer time into that until it stabilizes and wears off. And the second that it becomes a more or less novel, stable form of revenue, they're gonna go back and try to iron out stuff from power play. I am not surprised at all at the pacing of it. I get that it's like maybe a little faster than I would like, but I still feel power play got off on the right foot quick enough from the start and was comprehensive enough that to me, that's kind of the game now. I don't necessarily miss escape pods.
Yeah, escape pod's still off.
I don't
rares
miss
are still
rare
off.
goods.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll check in on Trailblazers on week 22, and we'll see if there's a fucking back button.
Yeah.
Who's next? I call on Blooming Wind.
Yeah.
Yell at me.
So while I do agree that Trailblazers maybe came out a little earlier than I would have released it if I was FDev, but I'm not, so whatever. But if you look at the roadmap, there are updates that are dedicated quality of life fixes. And I think there are 4 of them this year. I could be completely wrong, and Wintermute will correct me at about 3 a.m. this morning.
Probably.
Love you, man.
No, because I'm not going to publish till 7 a.m.
Oh, well, then he'll get me some point later tomorrow. But anyway, the point I'm making is that they have baked in bug fix updates, like major bug fix updates. Now, whether it'll include any bugs, it shall be remain to be seen. Whether they fix bugs with the bug updates or not.
Bake one of those into the first 23 weeks of PowerPlay? Okay.
You see, that's what I would have done. See, that is the difference between me and FDev is I would have probably done Trailblazers in June. I probably would have led with, hey, here's the new ship and some bug fixes. And then here's some more bug. Yeah, I mean, that's how I would have done it. And, I mean, maybe the arcs would have flown from the ships, but
yeah, I understand completely that the path they're on is the one toward more money. It's just not the one that makes me want to play the game. Hence, here we are. Okay, Lark, you haven't yelled at me yet.
I had nothing to yell at you about, so I'm good.
I was just joining in the rabble.
There's always plenty.
Yeah.
All right. What does this say? Discussion. What do you think the ship after the Corsair is going to be? They've said this is the last medium. Is that true?
They did say that on the FU, yes.
Okay. I guess I watched it too fast. I caught up a little bit on this stuff. I don't know. Somebody else go.
So I think the very next ship is probably going to be a large. And I lean more, I haven't finished listening to Lave yet, but they were all leaning in the direction of like a big bulk carrier, and I'm actually kind of leaning that way too. Yeah. It just, with the game loops and stuff they've added, it just makes perfect sense. You know what I mean?
Supernaturally high cargo.
A 1,200 ton minimum cargo carrier.
The Panther Clipper, maybe. The Panther Clipper, bigger on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
No, they'll name it the Leopard just to piss people off.
Yeah.
They switched the naming convention from snakes to like small reptiles.
Yeah.
The weasel.
That said, while I think it'd be cool to see an even large ship than the big ones we have, because good gosh, they're big ships if you get out and look at them. I also really, really want to see Core Dynamics take another run at the Vulture and maybe make something else out of it, some other type of ship. You know what I mean?
I've always thought a medium upsized Vulture would have been righteous, but they said it wouldn't be medium, right? So,
I mean, who knows if that's true or not? But that's what they said. So,
yeah, I think a large is a good bet.
Yeah. The only bummer is they're somewhat limited by geometry because the Type 9 basically is the shape of the mail slot. If you look at it,
but you can go up. Can't you go up?
You can go, you can go up a little bit. But I think even though
the Beluga is almost too tall,
I think the Panther Clipper already basically had a rectangular shape in the other game that it was in.
Yeah,
it has to be take a large pad and then just make the ship the large pad with as much upper dimension as you can get.
It's a Borg cube.
From Core Dynamics, the cinder block.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so the trouble is, I don't think it can be anything that is different gameplay than just a standard ship.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be a much bigger release, right? Then that would be a feature release and not a ship release.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably just something that's just it. 1,200. No, if they increase the max cargo by 50%, that would be a big deal, and they could somehow, like lore-wise, create a ship that could potentially do that.
Now, what did the
doubling
T8
it?
do?
No.
What did the T8 do relative to the next largest medium ship for cargo?
The Python.
Oh, it's
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but wasn't it like 15-25% more or something?
Yeah,
like
more
30,
cargo than a
40%
Python
more,
can carry, while being faster than a
And
Python,
handles-
so it doesn't have to be
handles-
as tanky.
Yeah, but it's not like 100% more, and it's not like even 50% more.
No,
Yeah.
it was like 40% more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so T8,
just-
so a T8's 406 and a Python's 294.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh, well, that's
50%
almost
more?
50% more. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
42% more or something.
40.
Yeah, I think a maxed out Type 9 or cutter is like 7.
The cutter is 792 or
792?
something like that.
Yeah.
794.
Just
So
794.
1090,
say
so
1200.
1096 would be proportional to
Okay.
the Imperial cutter for the T11
Right. Yeah.
or whatever we want
Sure.
to call it. Yeah. So if they
I'll
said
say I expect that
1100,
out of a large ship. Yeah.
Right.
you know,
Kind
and
of a
they've done some
bummer.
witchcraft with the core modules. Like, I mean, I don't know if they've miniaturized them or nanotech them or whatever, but you know, it's like they're
Do
getting
we
all
see
that
the
shit on
first-
a ship.
Did we see the first Type 9, size 9 module? Oh my
Would they
God.
introduce a larger? it would have a size 9 optional slot that, and then they introduce along with it a size 9 cargo rack. What would that be? So the biggest one holds 256.
Be
So
double.
it'd be
It'd
a
double.
single one that was 512 units of cargo in a single slot.
Christ.
That'd be so great.
And that dovetails. so
What's good
clean with
about
all
it is
three.
it would be useless for anything else, right? So like if you know what I mean. So that's what makes elite shipbuilding good is when there's restrictions, and like even these power creep ships, like there's still restrictions here. Although the
Well, like
Corsair
they were
is like
saying
extremely unrestricted.
Right. But like they were saying on Lave earlier, and yes, I am just stealing this conversation point from them because I think it's a good one. What if they introduced a ship that big, but it had something along the lines of, cargo only slots? So say like some of those big slots only can have cargo containers in them. Or
Right,
I can't have my size 9 advanced docking computer?
That's along the lines of what I'm thinking though, because if it's the only size 9 module, it's like a useless optional slot for anything else, right?
And here's what I say: give it guns, but give it 3 huge guns, and that's it.
That would be
it can do the battleship broadside and nothing else.
All pointing in a different direction.
Right.
Small pulse lasers.
They're all rear facing,
Every single one of them. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want a remake of the Corvette. What I want though is the bow, the very tip of the bow, just to be bent down at about a 45-degree angle, so that the nose up it just scrapes every time you go through the mouse slot. And then they can make a ship kit that kind of softens that up.
Kind of
That would be kind of cool. Yeah.
I see what you did there. Okay. Next bullet point. The BGS is hilariously, hopelessly broken now. Is that intended? This was postulated on a Burr video I saw.
Yes, and we were actually talking about this. I forget which channel, but we were talking about this just on the Discord earlier this week as well. Like everything's busted in the BGS. We can't seem to move anything. Everything's either pegged or failing or whatever, and we can't do anything about it. But is that intentional? Is that part of a plan where Vanguard is going to come in and whatever Vanguard ends up doing, it ends up fixing that end of it so you can do that? Or on the flip side, was it never intended for us to be able to manipulate the BGS like we have been? Is that just a side effect of it existing and we were never meant to be able to do what we have been doing with it?
Jesus. Can I take this one?
You take this one, and then I got to follow up.
No fucking way. It's broken by accident, of course. It all started falling apart as soon as Power Play came in 22 frigging weeks ago, and they have no idea how to fix it. Now, Vanguards might be co-opted into a way to eventually fix it, and maybe that's why they feel a little bit better about not fixing it during the intervening months here, but no way. Absolutely not was this intentional. Give me a break. That's all.
I can't top that. I can't top that.
So I got
they broke it with Oh, go for it, Oblivious.
Because I have gone back and forth on this one several times, and so this is where I am at the moment.
You know more than me, so please.
Well, it's I for the most part I have been in the category of don't attribute malice, which could be adequately explained through incompetence.
Right.
So very much in that, just what you just said, Trax. But the thing I remembered today was it almost 2 years ago that they froze new player managed actions additions. So,
but it got too dense, and they knew that sorry, I shouldn't interrupt. That's a dickhead move of me.
Well, that's where I was going. Why did they do that?
Yeah.
So that kind of plays in. Okay, maybe they are going to do something different with BGS, or knew that, and they had that much of a roadmap, and they've been going to. So
yeah.
In short, where I'm at right now is maybe I think they froze that with their roadmap that's going to go to this new squadrons type, lead into this new squadrons thing, and the power play had to be in place and so forth. Maybe that roadmap is there, but also the incompetence piece of getting there is at play. So I'm now sitting at both. Yes, they're making a change to BGS, but they're not doing a very good job about it.
Yes.
So,
I don't think this explains as a change to BGS. There was no change to BGS needed, and I think it's pretty clear from what we've seen in first Power Play and now Trailblazers and how it interfaces with Power Play and brings BGS factions along with it, that I think you're right. They had these things on their internal roadmap way back when they turned off factions, for sure. Yeah, but they were just ideas, right? They weren't, and we didn't know what the features were going to be. They turned it off though, obviously because they were getting too crowded. And it was like, I don't know, maybe it comes back on, but then by the time Trailblazers starts to actually come together and they see what it starts to look like, it's like, well, no, because the factions are going to come along with you, so we can't start adding new factions. So that's never coming back.
Yeah,
is what I think. And it just it's the spaghetti is preventing things from working right. And it's like you could try to sort out the spaghetti, but your pace is too fast, and you got to keep going on with the next thing. Now maybe they find some solution with whatever the hell Vanguards is going to be that's going to give them a little bit of an out here, but I don't think there's a total out anywhere along there. That you have to go back and ticks have to start working again. Basic shit like that has to start happening again. I mean, what are they going to do? Even if Power Play is more what they want to be the main thing. And I kind of agree it's probably more interesting, but they would need to tweak some values to make conflicts more reasonable. And but even if that's going on, you don't delete the the background simulation. That's the bone. That's like the Stellar Forge. It's like the bones of what this all is. What the hell happens with colonization if there's no factions there? What do you have? Why are we worried about which economy is going into anything if there are no factions? So that's where this is also weird. What do you mean turning off the BGS? It's what?
So go back to that the comment you made. Okay, what would they be trying to fix in BGS? And to me, the biggest flaw on the BGS is you're building sandcastles. The conversation coming back to solo versus open, the bottom line, someone wants to be a dick to someone that's doing BGS. They can do it, and there's no accountability, there's no consequences. So are they possibly building towards something that does lend itself to some type of a consequence, where you can build something, and if somebody comes and screws with you, you have the ability to reciprocate, which you can't do today. Maybe that's what that's why they started screwing with it. Otherwise, why screw with it?
Because the BGS is simultaneously smaller than Power Play. So when you build a sandcastle, it's big enough that the sandcastle means something to you personally, but it's small enough that an individual or a handful of people can screw you over and you don't really have a recourse. Now that is beyond, like power play is beyond that, right? Because it's much too big with only 12, 13 different things. Like it's big enough that like you have a big crew. No matter, even the smallest crew is a big crew, right? So there's less. Well, there can be less personal investment, I guess, because it's less small and less personal. But at the same time, and then at the same time, the other side's better too. So, I mean, that's why I kind of think that they do kind of wish power play was the thing and BGS wasn't the thing, maybe. But that's it. That's an interesting thought. Okay, and yeah, you could see that with this stuff about vanguards being able to like assign your own missions. I don't know if missions is going to be the right word, but you know, the task assignment kind of reward assignment thing that you can do
Tasks
for
is a good
people.
word. Yeah.
Yeah, that creates something. But it doesn't mean they still have to get ticks. You know what I mean? Like stuff still has to. Yeah. Factions still have to be able to follow the rules as they're set out, and that's it. It's like the fundamental laws of BGS aren't working.
They're not fundamental anymore. Yep.
Yeah.
I think all of the
inconsistent.
I think all of the things that have been added with all of their own commensurate ticks and schedules and things like that. I think that the way that the clockwork of the game is built, that it just completely jacked up BGS. The BGS tick is taking longer, if at all. And then the way that whatever happened with the interaction with the powers and the minor factions, like the fact that, you know, a minor faction, I do influence missions for that faction and they all get to the controlling faction. All that influence goes to the controlling faction instead of the faction I want it to. That's a bug. And I don't know how
that's spaghetti,
bug. Yeah, that's spaghetti code. And so I don't think it's intentional. And it's like it's shit that needs to kind of get fixed because it, you know, for people who are actually interested in that element of the game, it's completely disruptive. You know, and it's just like, you know, people kind of wander into your thing, like, why won't you cool off your systems? And it's like, because there's a bug.
I mean,
it's like you cool it off.
This is why I kind of react that way when we talk about the squad briefing, you know, and I know, like, yes, we still have a squad, but like, you know, people think I don't know, maybe I assume people think I'm being hyperbolic here, but like 22, 23 weeks, and like, oh, but it's minor, Audaxius. Like, no, this is game-breaking shit. Like, if this is your game, it's busted. Like, and it's touching on so many aspects of it at this point.
And I've had
know that I'm in a vast majority as being the guy who like has picked these 3 weeks to stop playing the game because I know Trailblazers is like driving player numbers through the roof. And I'm not like thinking that I'm better than people because I see through it or something. It's just you know, I don't know, whatever. Plus, all my friends were gone, so it's not just that. But
no, you're right. I mean, BGS for me, that's my game, has been my jam, so forth. My times sitting behind my PC playing this game has been cut drastically.
Same.
Because of it, specifically because of what's been going on with BGS. And instead of looking at the big picture, I look at one particular system and try to figure out what's screwed up. And BGS for me right now is okay, what lever is screwed up versus isn't, and why did it work yesterday but it doesn't today, and why is it going to work again next Thursday? That's what BGS is for me right now, is trying to figure out why it's screwed up and how I can predict it. And I haven't come up with anything yet.
And I've just been trying to provide bite-sized things for the squadron to do, so that, like, okay, BGS is broken. Let's play in the fixed parts, and let's play in the parts where we can maybe have an impact. And even then, it's like, oh, that's not working either. Like the wars.
What was fixed today isn't tomorrow. Yes,
exactly. So,
and it varies from system to system. It's wild.
You're so much stronger than me for even putting up with it for a minute. Honestly.
Now, I was telling the guys the other day, I said, I'm ready to go exploring because it seems like it's the only thing in the game right now that's working.
That's working.
The way we expect it to. So,
It was the plan. Apparently, I'm a prophet by playing Distance Cruise 3 when I did.
Yes, you are a prophet.
Well, it's kept me from cutting down on my game time.
Hey, there you go.
It's kept me playing and logging in. So,
woohoo! Victory!
Wow. Okay. Is there? I think we can get out of here, right?
I think so.
I think we did a good job of
I think we did it.
Yeah. I will say Community Corner has nothing in it, but I will say that I happen to know that Buckyball is back, and not only is Buckyball back, but there's currently a Alec Turner's race and I don't think this has been talked about on this show, just in case anybody who only listens to this show and not the other Elite Dangerous podcasts. The race, the idea of the race is fairly simple, but the scoring system is super clever.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yep.
And it deserves repeating. So it's basically just a point to point race, like do the things you have to do and get it done. But what makes it interesting is you have to call your shot, right? So you have to say how long you think it will take you to complete the race. If you beat your estimate, then you get your estimate. So whatever you estimate, that is your minimum time for that run. If you run over your estimate, whatever the gap is, the margin you ran over gets added to your time double. Okay? So you are encouraged to try to guess accurately and then try to hit that time or lower. So I think that's extremely clever. Does that make sense if I explain that well enough?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I like that.
Yeah. I think it's extremely clever. I love it. Sorry that I haven't participated yet. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe this will be the one that maybe this will be my first Buckyball race. I kind of doubt it. I just
this will be the one.
This is busy times. I love the idea of, I have never participated in Buckyball or any of these races. And I love the idea of them, and I love hearing about them.
There you go. I'm going to stop BGS and start doing time trials.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, I'm pretty sure. I mean, that was still on. They were just talking about that. It has to go at least through tomorrow or the weekend or something, right? Anyway, I don't have the links in front of me. I apologize. Okay, that's pretty good. Thanks, everybody. Good talk. Good chat. I hope they fix some stuff, and we're gonna have a Coursera by the time we speak next, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta buy some marks.
It's gonna be wild.
I'm sitting in my carrier, and I can't get out on foot because it says there's too high of gravity.
For the mining event tomorrow, I have put together an Anaconda, Daxi.
Sorry, your carrier has too much gravity? Your carrier that has no gravity?
Out on foot
no, he's right next to Jupiter.
Because it says there's too high of gravity. So maybe
you're
right. Maybe
the warning that said that's supposed to say no gravity magnetic contact is saying too high gravity, sit the fuck down.
Disembark is grayed out, and it says cannot disembark, high gravity.
I love this so much.
I mean, if you're in orbit of a gas giant or something, you get that.
Oh, 5 minutes after that.
But if you're hold on. If you're in orbit, you're still experiencing no gravitational force because you're in orbit. Your velocity is orbital, and you would feel like you're falling, same as anywhere else that didn't have gravity. You'd be radiationed to death, but
I know that, but that's what the game thing is.
Says.
That's what the game does. So,
is that a real? That's not a real thing, is it? Are we joking about this in orbit? Really? So that's a real fleet carrier thing?
It's real in game. Yeah, like you can't get off you can't disembark on foot if you're like in a high gravity zone, like a gas giant.
And a gas giant orbit counts as a high gravity zone.
Yeah.
Wow.
No way.
I thought we were talking about a bug.
I thought we were talking about a joke.
Are you actually in orbit on a gas giant?
Yeah, it's a planet with 2.9 Gs. You can get out with 2.9 Gs.
So he can walk on the surface, but he can't walk in orbit.
Yeah.
Are we sure this isn't a bug?
Yeah, I think it's a bug. Anyway. At least the fixed VR line. VR, huh?
Okay, anyway, thanks for joining me. Let's all say goodnight to the fine listeners. You know how to support the show and find links in the thing for the thing and the thing and the thing. And we love you. Thank you.
Good night, fine listeners.
Good night, listeners.
We love
Goodbye,
you.
love
Good
you,
night.
bye.
Good night,
Stay listener.
listener.